again after the last meeting, and she said we have no choice. With what the county adopted, we should, not that we have to, we should opt out to protect ourselves, and we can always opt back in. If we don't like what's happening, we can always opt back into the program. But you can only have one chance of opting out. And once permits possibly start coming, we're gonna be grandfathered in if we haven't settled on something. And this, do you understand what this is about, sir?
No.
This is about the solar farms.
Oh, yeah.
The program the county has adopted is something not, the state hasn't, I guess, hasn't accepted, or it's not the state law for the state reasoning for the taxes, or the opting out is the other side. They're the two things the state is allowing, I guess. But the county, through their wisdom, brought forward another program that would, it's a host community payment, not a tax. And our lawyer and our assessor and myself anyway, feel that it's just a lawsuit waiting to happen for these solar farms. And we would think, and my opinion is of it, if you're a commercial business, which is what these solar farms are, they should be taxed as a commercial business. They should pay property tax too. And that's my feeling on it. And the board, there's more discussion on it. But this is what's, I would like to act on it tonight. To act on local law number 2. But it's, open for discussion. Some more discussion on it before it, gets yay, nay, or whatever. Yes, Pete?
Since we have Father here, what about if a church or a school or firehouse wants to put solar panels? Would they have been afflicted by that law?
They'd be tax exempt anyway.
That's why I'm asking, this way they...
I mean, that's what I'm assuming. I mean, that would be, it wouldn't be a commercial business. I mean, if they're putting on a commercial business, then they might have, I would think they could be taxed because it's adding on to their, they're making an income off it, on this. I would, I guess that's a murky area. It's just like I just said, the town, that wouldn't be taxed. The school, I presume it wouldn't be taxed because we don't pay taxes on the cell tower.
If it's the school's property, then it would not be taxed.
Right.
Wouldn't it?
And that might be the loophole too. If it's
I think that
town
might
property,
be
it might be, the school's taking advantage of it.
If the school or the church owns the solar farm,
Right.
then it's their property and their property is exempt.
They're not
Wouldn't you
against,
say?
they're not against supplying your own energy for it, but when you start becoming a commercial business, selling energy, they list it as a commercial, so you could be assessed. That's a good question, Pete, and I'm not sure, but I think it's, there's always something there, a niche you can always, pick on or
The
find.
church is exempt anyway.
Yeah, if they got, how much land does a church own in the town? I mean, if they put one on, it very well might be, although you have to get by the assessor on that one, I'm not sure. How it would be looked at, I really don't know. And, that's a whole, I guess, part of the same issue somewhat, but. Any other comments on it?
Well, one other way of looking at it is the exemption is for the equipment and the infrastructure. That's what the exemption is. The land, basically, if a solar farm came in, the land is going to be taxed for code 700 or whatever it is, which is the industrial. I suspect that's where it would come into. And so, if the system is exempted or not, you still are going to assess the land for industrial purposes. If there's an ag exemption on it, then that goes away. If it was rural recreation
Right,
land,
but if the whole,
that goes away. So you're still gonna be assessing the land, even if they build the solar thing on it, and you don't assess the solar thing. So from that standpoint, you know, if you pass this and solar farms don't come in, because there's no incentive to come in without it, then you could almost say that you're actually gonna be losing a little revenue you could have gotten from the land that's below it. So, anyway, just a random thought, but I think it's accurate, and it will be assessed at a much higher level than agricultural exemption or rural vacant land.
well, I don't
Whatever it is
know, I don't know what
currently.
the difference is in, you know, assessed value. I guess it'd be,
I
what
think we
would
can
be
find
the
it.
outage? Or what, you know.
Be a liability, eventually.
Pardon?
Be a liability having it on your land eventually, because it's not gonna work.
Depends on, over the years, as it gets older, maybe it would be, I don't know. But,
No, wait. If your car has a bad tire, do you throw the whole car away? You fix the damn thing. If the solar panel goes bad, you fix it. I've had mine since '07, and I haven't had to fix anything for the first 7 years, you know, or first 9 years. So it's not like, you know, it's not like the whole system is gonna just suddenly die.
no,
I
I
don't
don't think
quite-
anybody said the system's just
No,
gonna suddenly
you know,
die.
What do you mean a
You know,
liability
after,
then?
you know, I don't know what
My
what is the
experience with
lifespan?
panels has been that they don't suddenly die, but they do gradually lose output.
Fine. Your tires gradually wear, and what do? You replace them. It doesn't stop the system from working. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
from that standpoint, I just don't quite, I don't see the fact of, you know, a 20-acre solar farm or a 100-acre solar farm.
That's a large
It's gonna be a liability down the future. You just paid, what, $55,000 for a pickup truck? What's it worth 7 years later? 12, 13, 20, sometimes they're worth 30 now. The useful life of that thing is debatable. It probably isn't 20 years, but it might be. You might have some 20-year-old trucks. Solar panels as an investment, they have a 20-year to 30-year lifespan. And the payback is less than 7 years. So if you could buy a pickup truck that would last 20 years and have no money spent on it, no maintenance on it,
Right.
it would be a good deal. I don't
So-
understand
so
why
a solar panel
panels.
will pay for itself in 7 years without the grant money and stuff, right?
Why does it be a fund
No.
without grant? Why do we have to have grant money doing that if it's solar efficient?
Do you-
Well, they're not.
Okay, so you think we should not have any grants for anything? Okay.
No, there's two grants, there's private money giving it,
Uh-huh.
and there's our money
Uh-huh.
as a whole.
Okay. Do you have any idea how much grant money you're giving to fossil fuels for the diesel fuel?
This isn't fossil
This has
fuel.
got nothing to do
They
with that.
shouldn't
Sure it
be,
is.
shouldn't be
They're
given grants.
subsidized.
Why is it okay
Why
for
is-
your group
We're
to have
not,
that?
we're not against
They
the
don't wanna hear it.
subsidized.
They don't
Let's not go away.
We're not, you know, the realistic number.
So you can take
on-
tax money and pay it out as a subsidy, but you can't pay it out as a grant. That's what you're saying. Okay. I'm not sure I understand the difference.
No,
No.
it's for welfare in any case, and I'm opposed to that.
You gonna stop driving your truck or car?
No, I paid for
I'm not
my
either.
truck and my
I'm
car.
not
No,
either.
wait.
But anyway, we digress. That's not the topic. We're talking about, you know, whether or not you should, we're talking about whether or not you should tax them.
Are you talking
I'm
a
saying-
company wanting to come in and use the land to put panels up and put it into the grid, or are you talking about somebody generating it for themselves?
Doesn't matter. This exempts everything. You're exempting.
No, but I'm asking,
private-
what, I mean, your argument
We
could
are
go
not
2 ways
taking
depending.
away the exemption with this. Opting out takes away the exemptions.
Yeah. You're taking away the exemption, whether it's private or public, you know, residential or commercial.
I guess what I'm thinking, Donnie, is that if it's a company and they put in, let's say, 100 acres of panels
Sure,
or something
yeah.
like that, and
You're
they go
gonna
bankrupt.
tax 100 acres of land at industrial use.
And they go bankrupt, then that land is left for somebody else to pick the pieces out with.
Okay.
And that happens all the time in the corporate world, you know?
It does, it does.
And
It does.
that has occurred, so,
We can always opt back in. but we
and,
can't
yeah,
really opt
get the
out.
flexibility to go either way. It's like having your cake and eating it too, isn't it?
But
Well,
if the discussion, we're just beating a dead horse
Yeah.
right now.
And Delaware County has what, 14,000 acres or something like that in ag district land that is assessed at ag value. That's commercial. You guys are commercial dairy farms. You're selling for a profit.
Who sets that, Donnie?
You do.
Who sets,
Who sets
who
the
sets
price?
the
Federal
assessed
minimum.
value?
Who applies for it? You have to apply. Every year, I had to fill out my form to the tax assessor for that ag exemption. Do you not fill it out?
Yes, we
So
do.
you're applying for it, and you're taking tax money.
It's not 100%.
Well, it goes from residential land, vacant land is $2,500 is what it's taxed at right now, pretty much, from what I could find out. And I've seen tax assessments down below $200. So you're going from $2,500 down to $2. If I have this land that I can't farm, it's on a hill and it's my hunting camp, I'm taxed at $2,500 and the farmer's taxed at $200. And it's a lot better land. So I'm just saying, you talk about doing industries fairly and stuff.
Donnie, can I just
Yeah,
make
Well,
it,
that's not
Dairy's an
organic
industry.
farms.
Dairy is an industry.
Donnie,
Is it
Yes,
not?
it is.
So you
is
guys are
gas.
benefiting from it.
So is
Donnie.
gas.
But I like solar, and you won't let me benefit from it.
Donnie,
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm just, to some degree, I think it's a little bit like apples and oranges, and just hear me out. The reason I'm saying this is because you're comparing a corporate entity with citizens, local
Farms can
citizens.
be corporate.
No, I know they can be, but most of them are local, hiring, they're gonna be here in the long run. You're talking about an electric company, a large utility, a business, and then you're comparing your neighbors who are in business, and, whether it be running a farm, or whether it be running a hardware store, or whatever. And, so to put that on an equal footing, I don't think is fair, that,
So if we had a
they don't have
K-Fault
the
in
interest.
Franklin,
Let me
that'd
just,
be-
Donnie, let me just finish. So you take a large entity like that, and I don't know, a NYSEG, just pick a name, or somebody else that is, or, what's the other one? That large one that's owned by the Spanish company.
I agree.
That's nice.
No, it's, oh God, National Grid is owned by a company in Spain. And, not saying those necessarily mean people, but they answer to shareholders that live around the world. And so if something goes wrong, Franklin suffers. So Franklin needs to be looking out for Franklin, as do other communities that they go through. So, I think to compare, your fellow citizens and neighbors, et cetera, who are in business with a large company that's coming through and their interest is satisfying, shareholders is, I don't think that's quite fair. Every ag dollar generates a number of dollars within the community.
It used
You
to.
go on and on. It still
It
does.
used to.
Still does.
When, in the 50s, everything was shopped right in Franklin. Feed, fuel, clothes, everything. So it stayed in Franklin. Now, probably the multiplier is 1.3 or something.
The number,
Because most of the money goes out. Where's the feed company you buy from? Where's the seed company you buy from? It doesn't stay local. Where's the fuel company you buy
Right.
from?
But
There's
the
not
way
one
you
in
call
Franklin.
local.
that's
But
right.
you're gonna put
Most
all
of
this
the
in your
electric power is
ship
gonna
it
stay
out.
local.
No, but I'm just saying, so the multiplier effect this really doesn't happen anymore.
Where's
It
Mary?
But anyway, I'm done. You've made your point, I've made my point, and you're gonna do
Well,
what we
that's
need
why
to
we're
do.
here, to discuss
I
it,
know,
right?
yeah, right. Just trying to think if there's anything else I was gonna mention. Someone else must have something to say.
Anybody else?
That's a quick question.
Yes.
About a decade ago, when there was real concern about wind farms coming to Franklin, the town added a whole section to its codes on wind farms. Now, presumably we're talking about this exemption because there's real concern there'll be solar farms in Franklin, so is the town going to add a section to its codes over solar farms?
I think they are allowed in town of Franklin, through the zoning, is what the county zoning has said, I believe. So, I don't know if there's any, you've got your setbacks and stuff, which I would presume maybe it's in the same as a, wind turbines. I know they got a 1,700-foot setback or something like that. There hasn't, I don't think there's any standard deviation for a solar farm, or for solar panels on homes or in the backyards. At this time, I don't even think the only ones that I've, you know, you got some on barns and stuff like that, houses, but the ones below Franklin, there was nothing in zoning to control putting them in or not, is what I understand. You know, it was allowed, and that's all it was. I guess, I presume he got a permit for it, but I really don't know. But, you know, just like yes, there was a big section for wind turbines. And I guess probably the big thing is the height factor and stuff where they could fall or whatever, you know, that end of it, solar panels.
It had to do with several factors, the height, the flickering light, the noise, the bird mortality, and electrical hazard from high tension wires. There was a section about fences around the installation.
Fall zones.
Yeah.
I think there was something in there about if they became not used, that it was,
Yeah, that
it
would
was
have
gonna
to
be
be
the
removed.
company's responsibility
Yes.
at their expense.
And why wouldn't you do the same for solar? If it's not being used, we just
You should.
heard about this.
That's fine.
So it sounds like you
That
will have to
doesn't mean they're
consider
gonna be
that
exempt.
to somehow get it covered so that there is that factor if they ever abandon it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Has the town been approached, like for an open house or anything for these?
Not that I know
Because I think if people sign up, they think, but if people saw what they're gonna look at, I think we
of.
have. Maybe they can have an open house around Christmas, that
I
way,
think Roxbury
People
was
can-
supposed to play
put your Christmas
possibly
on.
going forward. I'm not sure, I'll find out more.
Puppet show.
We've got a meeting on Thursday, they might, you know. Well, it's been brought up about local law number 2, and how the town board feels. It's been discussed. We move forward with it. I guess that's what it is. And that has nothing in it about pilots. And that was mentioned last, you know, question about that. All that does is bring more lawyer expense in. So, at this time it is, Cheryl said, you know, if we change assessors and a new assessor has a different view on it, you can always opt back out, you know, back in,
You can rescind the law.
rescind the law. So is there a motion to
I make a motion.
adopt the
Local
local law number 2?
of 2016.
Is there a second?
I second
Some more discussion. All in favor?
it.
Carried. Thank you. Put you behind Mark, I guess.
Yeah.
No, okay. Well, Mark, what have you got for us?
Just a few updates. Boxes here, the new one that showed up this afternoon. The truck that is on is being sandblasted and painted now, so once it gets back here, all we gotta do is finish the add-ons for the hydraulics and some of that stuff to put the box on. So that's in that process. Right now, we're working over here on Stockman Street. We got that all tore down, tore up. We got in there and there was a lot of clay, a lot of garbage. Not garbage, but just junk material in there, so we're digging it down and putting drain tubing in there. We got some springs in there and stuff, so we're drain tubing that. We're gonna try to carry the water out of there. So it's taking us a little longer, and hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have it, the end of this week, first part of next week, we'll get it straightened out.
Chipping and stuff happening with that.
Yeah, we were supposed to start paving today, but they've got a lot of other jobs going on. they got behind, a little bit of rain there, put a lot.
That's what we remember.
Colesville.
Okay.
Yeah, if you've seen down on Route 8 there, through Sydney, and part of Route 7, they ended up getting some extra money and doing some more upgrades there, so they stayed right there. But
So they're gonna be ready when you are, or you're gonna be ready when they are?
we're trying, a little of both.
Okay.
Tomorrow, next 2 days, we're really gonna have to push to get this one straightened around. The one nice thing is we'll just supply flaggers to East Hanson Brook, and some of us gonna be up here working to finish this. Probably what we'll do on this street this year is just put binder in, either base and binder, and let it set out, see what's gonna happen, if we're changing some, and then top coat it next year. But we can still put in for our money. And one of the things that we need to do is start looking for a pickup truck. The one that we kept, the 06, frame's busted, got multiple cracks, and all rusted out on the inside, and, so we haven't been using it. And one of the things that I was gonna look into and see was like replacing the one that I drive, use the one that I drive for a shop truck and for checking roads and stuff, and then go out and buy something like an F-150 or with four-wheel drive, something cheaper, something in that line. They do have them on state contracts. I have not gotten prices. We'll probably bring prices back to you next
Now, what
month.
about not a compact, I don't, smaller than an F-150? I don't know what, if you're gonna keep the Ford for the shop truck and stuff.
One of the things is right now, 8 employees, when we do road checks, when we have storms and stuff, my truck gets moved out there with that. And having a smaller truck might not be the best interest for us. Got some pretty good sized kids,
But you're gonna have the 350 for that
Right now,
job
the
too,
weight,
right?
350 will be around for the shop, yes, but it will also be used to go out and do road checks and stuff too.
Won't put a snowplow on it,
Probably
just
not. When you're going out there and plowing snow and not sanding behind them, it's bad. It creates a lot of issues.
Wasn't there a bare pavement law? Near law,
No.
if you plow, you have to.
No, stadium before first.
Oh, they took that away.
Yep. Yep, no more. State finally figured out they couldn't afford that. Which, basically what you're doing is trying to remove the snow at a reasonable time frame. Trying to get them passable. For now, having the 2 bigger trucks, or the 5500 and the 550 works out good. Those 2, but one F-350, because we've got it right now, we use that, and then maybe down the road, get rid of that. We need to turn the pickups over quicker. Just going 10 to 14 years is killing us. I mean, if you see what kind of money we're spending on them, and we can turn them around, we buy them at $10,000 cheaper than you can going out on the street and buying them.
Is this one you're talking about, what pass inspection to sell?
No,
It won't pass inspection.
no,
So what do we do with it?
just put it out there for the
Parts?
as is, what you see is what you get. Once you advertise it that way, first off, if they want to put it on the road, that's up to them.
Oh, it's
Probably
all
not gonna
us.
pass it.
So you don't need another plow truck, you just wanna replace, or get rid of this truck and replace it with a 150
Yeah, something like a 150 or something, in that.
lighter truck. And that's just for you to drive around, check roads and whatnot.
Check roads, get out there and do that. I run after parts all the time, So we do put a sizable load sometimes if we're carrying a rear end or a transmission or something in the back. We can do that. Yes, we can do it with a 350. I can look at compacts like, the smaller ones like the Colorados and those, I think you're gonna find the price is gonna be pretty close to what these are. We'll bring back some prices and we can go from there.
Well, if you're not gonna be using the truck anyway, it ought to go on the auction site, because it's got a snowplow, right?
Yeah. Yes.
If it's gonna bring any money, it's gonna bring it now, not in April. I mean, if you can't use it, you might just well put it on and see what we can find. The sooner the better, just, then advertise with plow and dump. And if we can get the 9 or 10,000 for it that we got for the last one. So if we're not gonna use it, we can't use it, might as well, get it started, and we can always not accept the bid. Not take the money. But it's gonna just be a piece of steel sitting in our yard, let's maybe see if we can move it.
You want a motion to put it on auction?
Yes.
Okay. Motion has been made to put the 06 on
What is
the
it?
internet auction that we have.
I'll second it. If you're not gonna use it, get rid of it.
If you can't
It
use
isn't
it-
gonna be worth any more next month.
No. So the motion has been made and seconded.
But you'll
All in
list
favor?
it as a parts vehicle
As
or
is,
as
yeah.
is.
As
or
is. Right, just as is.
So no one comes back and
Look at
I
it and see
can't.
what you're gonna buy.
yeah.
Buyer beware.
As is where it is.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
I
Carried. Okay, and then we have, you wanna bring up about the generator?
No.
You got more?
One of you guys, whatever.
Well, what else you got, Mark? I'm sorry.
Nothing. Well, I was gonna bring up about gravel, but I'm kind of looking at my funds. We're gonna put that off till first part of next year. We gotta get gravel, but for right now, the way this, some of the road stuff that we're doing, it's gonna cost us a little more money than I thought, so.
Okay. Well, or Paul has, or through the, working together with the other towns, the town has found a Owen generator set, 35 kW, 6-cylinder propane. It's a Ford industrial motor, 174 hours on it, and it's being asked at $4,000. And that would be big enough to run the whole town, you know, the whole shop, the whole thing, be on it, you know, it would, that isn't, everything to hook it up. This is just the 35 kW generator, which is a big generator.
That is a
You know,
big generator.
with 174 hours on it, so it should have many hours left to it, you know, and as we've just been talking about, telephone service, NYSEG, we're gonna be out of power more often, that's just a fact, out of phone more often. That's the nature of the beast, I think. And this has been something that we've been talking about, but I don't know what this unit would cost new.
Well, I bought, in '99, I bought a 60K Catalyte, had a 4-cylinder John Deere diesel. That was, that included the disconnect.
Right.
And wired, which was conduit, and
Mhm.
4-aught wire,
Right.
probably 50 feet of wire. But that was $13,500 in 1999.
But you're talking, this thing here, probably
Sounds like a really good deal.
automatic.
Usually talk